if you have a Roth IRA, if you take a distribution from it, remember that a Roth IRA is a post-tax retirement plan. So you've already paid tax on what's in there.
Okay.
And the deal with the Roth is that now any growth that you have, any gains, are also tax-free. So any distributions you take, whether it's at 59.5 or 68 or 72, doesn't matter.
So that includes the interest that may have accrued during that time period?
Absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about a Roth.
So what's the 72.5 thing? Where does that come into play?
That's a required distribution. So it used to be 70.5. Now it's 72, and it's going up to, I believe, 75, but don't quote me because I'm not sure.
Sure.
What it means is that the government wants their money eventually. So they're going to tell you, especially with a traditional IRA, that you need to start taking required distributions so that they can tax that money that you have saved for your retirement.
Okay. So it's only taxed as it's paid out.
Correct. And what they do is they use what's called a lifetime distribution. So you use your life expectancy to decide how much money you take out on an annual basis.
Okay.
And I don't want to get into the calculation. It's based on the life expectancy of the individual who is a participant in the plan. But a Roth IRA is different in that, yeah, you may have to start taking distributions, but guess what? They're not going to be taxed.
Okay.
And then the other thing to think about is that that's the person that's the participant. If you are a non-participant, a non-spouse non-participant, okay, so a child or brother,
yeah, I was going to say it's like a dependent. It's like one of my children or something. Yeah.
Then if you receive that as an inheritor, then you have 10 years to take that full distribution from that traditional IRA. Same with a Roth. Got to take it all out.
At any rate?
No.
Or is there rate restrictions?
No rate restrictions.
So you could take it as a lump sum if you wanted.
You could take it day one, you could take it on the last day, or you could break it up in between. So that's why I ask people to think seriously about having a financial advisor if they've received an inherited IRA, because they want to make sure that their financial advisor and their tax professional take a look at that and make sure that there's not going to be an issue with their income taxes, because more than likely, when these people receive this benefit, they're going to potentially have to pay a relatively high income tax. Because when do people receive IRAs from their parents? When they're in their highest earning years. So for instance, mom and dad are in their 70s and 80s.
Right.
Well,
and
guess
we're in our
what?
40s.
We're in our 50s and 60s and 40s, and we're making pretty good bucks, right? So that's when that's coming out. So you're going to get a double whammy of this IRA that has to come out over 10 years, right? Or you're going to have to pay the tax on your own money, right, that you're earning. So you've got that double tax whammy if you're in that 40 to 60-year-old range when your parents die, leaving you as an inheritor of an IRA. So that's kind of an issue. And there are ways to resolve that, but they're a little bit out of the context of this conversation.
Sure.
Now, a thing to think about is that sometimes you can plan around some of that stuff. Again, we'll talk about that in a different context. But our goal would be to manage that IRA so that you make sure a spouse or someone that's otherwise not an exempt person, but a person that's not going to have to take it out over the 10-year period. Someone that's chronically ill, a spouse, a child under age 18, somebody has special needs. So if you got that special needs child, we can use that IRA over their life expectancy. So there are some ways to plan around that without playing around with insurance and things like that. But again, it's probably outside of the realm of what we want to talk about, but just understand there are ways to manage that.